Hi, I'm James from HMO Property. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the differences between standard residential properties and HMO properties for rentals. Generally, residential properties in the UK come in two forms. You either have a standard residential home or C3 use, or an HMO, which is a house of multiple occupation shared by multiple individuals, which is called C4 use. HMO properties generally offer a higher return on investment, but the costs associated and the work involved are much higher than a standard residential property. Outside of the usual considerations when making a property investment, the differences between the two can be very important to know. There are two main things you have to consider when choosing to invest in an HMO property. The first is the change in planning use class, and the second is HMO licensing. Generally, changing from C3 to C4 is considered permitted development. This means that as long as you meet the requirements, you don't need to apply for planning permission for this change. However, in certain parts of the UK, and particularly here in Brighton, the council can bring in what's known as an Article 4 direction to limit this change. This means that now throughout Brighton and Hove, planning permission is required to make this change, and one of the major things that they do consider is the saturation in the area, so how many HMO properties there are. In order to trade a property as an HMO, you need to qualify for this C4 use, so do always check whether your area has an Article 4 direction in place or not, and whether you're likely to be granted this planning permission. The other side to consider is HMO licensing, and this is a standard set of requirements that have to be met in order to register your property as a traded HMO in a certain area. Throughout the country, if you have 5 or more sharers in your property, you must have an HMO licence. On top of this, in Brighton and Hove, if your property has 3 or more sharers over 2 or more floors, then you must also apply for their additional licensing scheme. The HMO licensing requirements generally revolve around amount of space for bedrooms, amount of space for living rooms and kitchens, washing facilities, and certain safety aspects such as interlinked fire alarms and heat detectors in kitchens. Every local authority will have copies of these requirements, and you can get them usually from their website or by speaking to the council directly. If you're unsure about converting your property from a standard residential C3 use to an HMO C4 use, the best thing you can do is speak with a local planning consultant, or a lot of the times your local agent will have a lot of background information on it. If you're interested to know more about investing in HMO properties in the local area, please get in touch with us and we'll see what we can do to help. I'm James from HMO Property. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video.